Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we got some very underrated mods that I think deserve some time to shine while YouTube is busy actually giving me views. Or maybe when I found them they were underrated at that time, maybe they magically blew up since then. But nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about this mod as we go through them, because there is quite a few on this list this time. If you guys end up enjoying, make sure you hit that like button down below, or maybe subscribe if you're feeling a little generous today. It's fine either way though, so without further ado, let's dive right in. Also, make sure you endorse mod authors, because they definitely deserve it. The first mod up today, we have a mod touching a place kind of forgotten about, even though it's kind of important to the story. Also called the Redoran Mind. This mod is called Watchman's Redoran Retreat. I want to honestly call this a simple overhaul, but it's definitely far from that. There's no looks patch as you can tell, but honestly it looks amazing without it. It completely changes up this interior, changing it from a cramped interior that takes only like 2 minutes to clear out. Now there's a few more enemies just to spice things up a little bit. I know a few people aren't fans of that, but honestly it makes the place better. It makes it a little bit harder, but not too bad that you can't clear it as a low level. It just makes it so that you'll need a little bit more preparation to clear this place. There's also small little Easter eggs that you can see, but I won't spoil them, just so you can have a little fun with this just in case you do decide to try it. Up next, giving the same attention to another vanilla location, Drelas Cottage. And it's by the same mod author called Watchman's Drelas Cottage. Pretty simple name, right? But it changes up the exterior to the home, making it a little more lively. I'm going to be honest, I don't know the exact lore to this place or the NPC inside the home, but if you're going to own this place, it's good to change things up a little, because this doesn't only touch the exterior. The interior was also changed too. Watchman has given permission to anyone to make patches for it, but considering this is fairly new, like a day or two old, there won't be a Lux patch for a little while. But nonetheless, this interior looks nice. I don't really think there is a need for a Lux patch other than to really just balance things out to match your other interiors. Also, fun fact about this place, Skyrim has a typo with Drelas Cottage. The interior for the sail has one S, but the exterior has 2 S's when you're teleporting. You kinda think Bethesda would have corrected that already. But up next, a new clothing / armor mod called the Southbound Scouts. This mod, although simple, adds a multicolored physics, light armor, and clothing mod. Most people might look at this and just see clothing, but there's 2 options for this mod. The first one is light armor that you're seeing, which as I said comes in multiple colors, but it is also unisex, so for the male only players, which is rare, this mod is also something you can enjoy, which is also even more rare. But the difference between the light armor and the clothing variant is there is different boots and hand parts, but also mainly the chest piece, as you can see, is more open than the light armor when you're wearing the clothing. So it's kind of like going from battle mode ready to just relaxing, or maybe starting a OSTEM scene, or sex up if you still use that. This is honestly something I've been waiting for. We always get knight-like armor or Viking armor, but nothing just to relax in the city with. But this mod is kind of perfect for that. And if you're wondering how you're seeing Triss and Yennefer, we'll get to that later in the video. Up next is a more controversial armor, if we can call it that. This one is called DD WereHunter. This one is also unisex, coming with a few pieces to complete the set, but even though it's unisex, I'd probably advise to leave this for a female character. It just kind of fits them better in my opinion. But I at least wanted to mention this armor for people looking for something a little more unique. But even if this isn't your cup of tea, at least it has beast race support, even though the nipples are kind of close together. But that was probably an issue on my part. Up next now, this armor is something I was disappointed I didn't showcase when it first came out, but this mod by Fuse is called Demon Targaryen, or Daemon, I'm pretty sure it's Demon though. This is on their Patreon, it isn't on Nexus, but it is 100% free. It adds a heavy armor that can be grafted at a Forge tier game, and it 100% fits an Imperial theme, which most of you side with anyway, so if you were looking for a good new Imperial themed armor, then here you go. Even though this has nothing to do with Imperials, it just looks amazing, and now you have a reason to actually use it. And what's great about this, nearly everything on this armor moves in reaction to movement or the wind. So for the physics addicts like me, this is perfect. Up next, sort of an armor mod, but for NPCs this time. This mod is called Valiant Vigilants. Keeper Carcette. This mod uses Warmonger Armory, which is kind of an older mod. It is required for this one also, but just the meshes though. But it uses that mod to give Vigilant lore-friendly armor that pretty much replaces all forms of Vigilant clothing, so no more mage clothing for these people. Now they actually look ready to battle werewolves and vampires. Keeper Carcette was also given a new face gen. I'm going to be honest, I'm not fully sure why since we don't see her much. but it's the thought that counts, I guess. I'm really in it for the new setup for Vigilants though. They really look like Daedra Hunters now. And what's great about this is that you can also wear the armor, like I said, because it replaces all Vigilant armor, so now if you equip that, you'll get this. This next mod is called Zhizhen Skin for 3BA. Figured since it's a skin mod, most people probably wouldn't even try it or just look at images, so why not give it a video showcase for people? At least for the people that's looking for a new skin, maybe if you weren't a fan of BNP, which is actually my favorite, but that one aims for a more realistic look. While this one is more tuned towards the fantasy side, applying redness and blush to the female skin for all humanoid races, of course for not safe for work reasons. I can't show everything included in this skin pack, but for the most part, Forsworn armor doesn't really leave much to thought. The presets are pretty much really similar to what you'd see in bits and pieces if you still use that. I'm still not sure why they changed the name honestly. So there really shouldn't be much of an issue jumping straight in to try this. It does require high poly head though. I did have a slight neck scene without it, but I barely noticed it. But some of you probably already saw it because you have perfect vision for some reason. For the most part though, this is a great alternative to BNP if you don't want to download 5 GB of skin, because it offers very similar skin details to female skin, while still keeping a similar look to what you'd see in Skyrim, without being too fantasy-like. Up next though, a much more simple mod. This mod is called Catches Cook on Campfires. This mod at certain fishing camps will add cooking fish to racks in different places. So you may see them directly on a rack, or maybe just sticking on a fishing stick and just cooking like that. What's great about this mod though is that you actually can't interact with these. I mean, it isn't chore, so it will count as stealing, but it works. But while grabbing this, you may as well grab this next mod called Diverse Catches. This mod, even though it isn't really new, it changes up fishing racks to have diversity, so some will be kind of empty while some will be full of fish to just show you how hard the hunters actually work. I personally wouldn't use one without the other, but to each their own. Up next we got a new replacer for our favorite follower, Serana. This mod is called Moonlit Muse. This mod changes up Serana with the replacer that kinda still fits her personality, basically a depressed gothic girl. This replacer does come with multiple variations, but just for the eye color, so you can pick what you want, but it won't change up any of her facial features or her hair. If you really want to go into the Moonlit Muse vision of the mod author, you want to grab the second file, which requires another mod from the mod author, but it adds so much more detail to Serana, actually making her face match her body. Honestly, you probably didn't even notice. Up next, like I mentioned before, the mods for playing as Triss or Yennefer. This mod for Triss is called Triss Merigold Playable Race. This is quite literally just an inject and a custom made Triss model that got put into your game for you to play with. It does have a kind of useful spell that has a 50% chance to absorb magicka, so it's kind of useful, but I don't advise to play as a male version of this because it looks like that. And just like Triss, the Yennefer one is just the same. It adds a playable race to your game called Yennefer, a playable race, which is much more powerful. She has a spell that lets you activate it like a power, and it does 8 points of shock damage per second to anyone around you. There is also a mod to have them both as followers instead of race, but I just do that so that I can wear armors with them. This kind of just makes it easier for me to switch between sexes, so I don't have to keep changing every preset. On to the next mod though, which is a super simple one I had to mention because I like the idea of it, or at least what it's trying for. This mod is called Isabella's Imperial Jail Bar. It's a retexture, as I said, and it's very simple. It retextures the jail bars because jail bars is the only thing still very ugly in Skyrim, even with mods. This mod is definitely helping to improve on that. They are a little low res though, but it's definitely better than vanilla. This next one though, applying some enhancements to the area of Frostmere Crypt with this simple mod called Frigid Frostmere Crypt. Simple name, right? This mod adds Nordic ruins and graves to the exterior of this crypt, expanding on it in a very FPS friendly way I might add, but also mainly lore friendly. This is another mod for Fuzzbee's expansion that they've been cranking out this month, and another mod that got added to my never ending mod list, which means more patching. This doesn't touch the interior, but it does touch the depths of Frostmere Crypt, so maybe it counts as an interior, I'm not sure how that works. But it barely touches its place. I believe for compatibility reasons, they just added Nordic ruins in the interior to pretty much just match the rest of the crypt. But that's pretty much the main reason why I like Fuzzbeat. It's usually lore friendly and FPS friendly. This next one though isn't so much FPS friendly, but it is lore friendly. But this mod expands on the boring Raven Rock by adding an entirely new area north of it called Northern Raven Rock. This is probably the most expansive Raven Rock I've seen that got expanded on that didn't come with 80 bug reports on the very first day. But maybe that's because it's underrated. Maybe people were afraid to try it. So here we are. I myself didn't get a single crash from this, even though I killed every single NPC just as a test. The only thing that might scare people away is that there is no Lux patch yet, and because every building has an interior, you might have inconsistent lighting, and that kind of scares people away with there being no Lux patch, and with Lux being so good. But trust me, if you're looking for mods to overhaul Solstheim, you won't find a much better one than this one. The only thing I'd say this could probably use is maybe on the exterior to add some trees, I guess. I know Solstheim is supposed to be a barren land, but I feel like some trees in this area would really set the mood better, because the interiors are already pretty much perfect as you can see. Just like I said, a Lux patch, but we don't need to dwell on that, because all of this for barely any FPS cost is definitely a win in my book. And that was pretty much it for today, guys. Let me know if you knew about any of these mods, or maybe some I missed that are underrated. But as of right now, I won't even ask for a like. I just hope you all enjoyed at least a minute or two of this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.